Hello, Frugal Force. Once again, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for a long overdue flashback from the stash. I do apologize ahead of time. I am months behind on this, and as many excuses as I can make, some of them which would be true. There's still no excuse for me taking so long to get to this video. I let other videos get in the way of it, and then other issues and things, so I'm finally getting to it. So for the ones that we're waiting, today we're going to look over and just talk a little bit about Captain America issue 406 from volume 1, and this was the Man and Wolf part 5 of 6. So you go right at the cover, Wolf Pack Attack. I love this cover. It's got the goofiness of Cap Wolf right there in the front. Wolverine's behind him, because remember, Wolverine at this time was so hot. All you had to do is put Wolverine on your covers and that would get you more sales. So if a title was maybe veering off in the sales a little bit, you throw Wolverine in there. Because it really, I understand people go, well, Wolf, I mean, that's a pretty far stretch. Wolf to have Wolverine in there, but I digress. So anyway, this book was $1.25 cover price. Yeah, back when comics were still somewhat affordable. This was from 1992, and this was the early September release. So if we look at this book here, the writer, was Mark Grunwald. Rick Levins was the penciler, and I've said in other ones, I think he was a serviceable penciler. Not the best Captain America penciler, but definitely serviceable. Danny Bellante was inks, Joe Rawson was letters, Dan Going was colors, Rob Macchio edits, and of course Tom DeFalco was involved when he says kibbles and bits down there for the editor-in-chief. Boy, I missed Tom DeFalco days. Well, anyway, we get back to there where we left off from last issue. Captain America has been turned into a werewolf, and after a brief period of freedom, he has come back to the person responsible for his condition, deadly Dr. Nightshade, because he came back to her. She convinced him. He says, "Into the punishment pit, Captain. You've been a bad beastie, running about and scaring the poor town folk." And of course, Cap can't really speak real well, so he just growls. Now, Captain, disobey me, and I swear you're never going to know what it's like to be human again. Because he came back so that way he could get turned back to human. So we go from there. The next page, and we see Cap Wolf jumping down into the pit, and he lands in the pit, and the door is shut. Whew! He's in. Nice to know that I haven't lost my touch. I've always had a way with the beasties. Well, Cap's down there, and the other wolf people are all coming up to them. And he notices, they're making noises, and he's wondering if they're trying to intimidate him with all the growls. So we turn the page and says, "Now back. Stay back." I mean, not come closer, and you could tell his words are not real coherent. His speech isn't, because he's still suffering with this being turned into a wolf. And another wolf comes at him and growls at him. They growl at each other and sniff at each other, sort of like fighting for leadership. And Cap's thinking he wishes he could talk. And we turn to the next page, and this is really cool here, where the wolf jumps at him, pounces at him, roaring, and as you see, Captain America, even as a wolf, will kick butt as he grabs the wolf and throws his head up into the top of the cage and just knocks that wolf out, which that was pretty darn cool. Now, just prison rules here. If you ever get in the prison, you take the biggest one in the bunch. That way you can become the leader and nobody will mess with you. And that's exactly what Captain America did. He laid the smack down on that thing, and it was awesome. As you can see, I'm energetic and happy today. I'm going to turn to the page here and then show you. We go back to good old Dr. Druid. Yeah, back when he was alive. And you recall from last issue, he lost that mental battle. So we see there, you hear there, "Meanwhile, nearby, you who are about to die, I curse you. For years I have studied the wisdom of the ancient Celts, gathered followers, and used modern techniques to advance the belief in the old faith. I have suffered numerous setbacks in my efforts. I have been persecuted, beaten, incarcerated, even stricken in stature. But I have persevered. I prevail against all odds. Still, despite all, I have striven for you, Anthony Druid, have continued to be hailed by the short-sighted populace as the master of Druidism." Yes, because he is jealous. Yes, this is all jealousy. Go figure, petty jealousy. Go. How would you believe it? I guess that makes great monologues, right? Because you can't have an evil guy without a monologue. "No longer! You have been defeated in occult combat." And so since he beat them, he has to, wants to become the supreme druid. "Your coming to Starksboro is most fortuitous, Anthony. Had you not stumbled into my clutches, I'd soon have come looking for you right after I finished my business here. But you don't have your own comic book series, so we had to put you in here to get this storyline." Well, let's be honest. Can Dr. Druid ever have really carried his own storyline? Probably not, because, you have Doctor Strange, and he'd, far more interesting. So anyway, I relieve you of this, Anthony, this lock of hair, as he cuts off his hair there. The next time I unsheathe that knife, Anthony, at moonrise tonight before my loyal populace, it shall be your throat I slice. So you have to show that he's going to slit his throat. And we're going to turn the page and see what happens next in this awesome story. We cut right back to Captain America back in the pit. He's wishing that he could talk. And we get a girl one that comes up that can talk. Captain America, do you recognize me? I'm Wolfsbane, formerly of the New Mutants, now with X Factor. Because once again, throw an X on the title in this time period, you get more sales. She goes on a little bit about how she was captured. Okay, and then we move on to the next page. Girl can talk now. Need to learn, roars. It's Cap. Trying to talk, are ye? You'll have to learn a whole different way to do it. Relax your throat. Now try to say something as you're trying to sing a high note gently. And so Cap, you see, struggling to talk because she's teaching Captain America to talk. And then we cut to Cable and Shatterstar because, yes, once again, more mutants, more sales. Cable, Shatterstar. Farrell's missing. How long? Last saw her at lights out last night. We'll find her. Saying, we're going to have some more mutants in this book. And Cable, of course, has got the old 90s setup there with, bigger guns than anything you've ever seen, because that was the 90s, and it was pretty cool, I have to say. So we turn the page, and we're back to Captain America now, as he's attempting to talk more to the other wolves, as he's rallying them up as only Captain America can, because Captain America can deliver a speech no matter if he can barely talk, because Captain America at this time was awesome, unlike the crap Cap we got today. Think about this. Captain America was so inspirational, he could inspire wolves. Today, he can't inspire anything but aggravation in the comic books. It's quite sad. So Cap does that, and we turn the page to see what's next, and the wolves all form a pyramid, so Cap can climb up and get that gate open to let them out. Of course, the gate is latched pretty tight, so it's going to be tough. So he ends up getting through the gate. As we turn the page, you see the gate latch breaking, and he's letting and helping all those wolves out. Meanwhile, we cut back from last issue. If you recall that D-Man was recently lost, though D-Man, of course, is suffering some mental illness, and a poor choice ended up of aggravation of chasing after somebody, leaving D-Man alone, ended up getting D-Man lost. So we're at Central Park, Manhattan, and we see her, 6'6", red hair, yellow shirt, moves slowly. Sorry, ma'am, if we'd seen someone like that, we would have remembered. Yeah, probably, because that dude is huge. And as you see there, she goes, I wish you were right, officer. Actually, she's not saying it, she's thinking it. But Dennis Dunphy is not all there upstairs. I shouldn't have yelled at him and run off. You think? Bernadette, you messed up. You're a real piece of work, she thinks to herself, and she was right. She did. She screwed this one up. What was Bernadette thinking? Oh, Bernadette. So let's turn the page, and we go back to the old bad guys, because, we need more exposition. Back in Starksboro, City of the Wolves. You wanted to see us, Dreadmond? And Dreadmond then does his speech to him, because we have to know what's going on. Tonight is the last night of the full moon, when all my months of planning come to fruition. Everything is in place. I even have that idiotic pretender to Druid glory where I want him. Now, I want you to make certain that nothing goes wrong between now and tonight. You've both failed your quota of mistakes. One more, and I'll throw you to the wolves. Now get out, because we have to show how threatening and mean he is. And so they take off, and they walk to where they see Dr. Druid. Relax, Nightshade. The only thing that can go wrong are down in the pit. We guard them. Everything will be... Jake, go on ahead, Moonhunter. I'll be along in a minute. And then we see her thinking, I'm going to have to make my move quickly, or I'll be lost. Or all will be lost, I'm sorry. If I can just get Moon to remove his mask, I'm certain I can break Dreadman's hold over his mind. So you see he's not in full control of himself. So we turn the page to see what's going on, and we go back to Captain America getting the last of the wolves out of the gate, rallying them up and leading out the door. As he's getting this group out to get all out, right before he crosses one of the gates, Wolverine switches his claws right in front of Captain America's face and says, "Let me out of here, because we have to have Wolverine in this story, because we need the sales." So we turn the next page to see what's happening, and Wolverine is clearly not happy. And Cap decides, we better leave him in here and come back for him later, because he's just not in a good state, which is probably a good idea because Wolverine is pissed. And of course, as they open the door, what do they run into? Yes, their opposition. It's what? And you see Cap still struggling to speak. Subdue them, but don't hurt them, because even as a wolf, Cap cares, because Cap has a heart. Beat them down, subdue them, but don't hurt them. And so we turn the page to see how the fight's going. We see wolves tearing all into Moonhunter. Back you. And they rip him to his, it says, rid him of his weapons, Cap says. I said no hurting. So even then, Cap is still trying to protect him, doesn't want him hurt. So Cap removes the wolves off of there, and we see the thought bubbles. He could have escaped. I've got to figure out how to use this to my advantage against Dreadman, but they're so out of control. So once again, Cap will save the day but not kill. Cap doesn't kill often, but Cap has killed, just for the record. He's been in war, he's killed vampires and everything else. He's beheaded one in an awesome issue, but that's another story. So Cap says, bring him here. As you see, they carry the prisoner there. Better cooperate till I can think of a way to get back on top of this insurrection. You see Cap, want to see who this is. Remove mask. And remove the mask again. Thought this might be John, but it was somebody I never saw before. It's nice to actually finally have somebody demasked and they're like, I have no clue who this person is. Because usually you always remove the mask and it's like, oh, it's this person. And this time it's, who the heck is this? His name is Zachary Moonhunter. Dreadman found him before I came to work for him. That's all I know. So Cap says, make sure he has no weapons, then drop him in the pit, because once again, we're securing him. And they go in another room. What are we doing with him? That's Jack Russell. He's been donating blood from which we concoct the werewolf vaccine we've administered to the Starksboro residents. He came by his lycanthropy supernaturally. Because he's a wolf. Release him now, Cap says. And we turn the page and we see him getting released. So we now know more information about the experiments. Says, you make an antidote, change us back. She goes, or you'll do what? I know you, Captain. Even in wolf form, you would not let harm befall a poor, defenseless woman like me. Good point, because Cap, you just said you wouldn't hurt that person. So Cap has her strapped to the table. She's like, I can't stand being restrained. Captain, your friend Druid is in grave danger. You'd better forget about me and try to save him. In other words, deflection. And then we cut to Dr. Druid being hung up, and at the moment, because he's going to be getting his throat cut. So let's see what happens. We turn the page and the knife's up against his throat as he's going to slit Dr. Druid's throat, and we see Captain America bash through the wall. Boom! Because Cap is awesome. And we see the villain yell, stop him, do not let him near me at all costs, because I'm a chicken crap and Cap's gonna beat me up. Of course, he doesn't say that last part, I'm just making stuff up. But that's what really happens. And as the wolves all are trying to stop Cap, we see that he's about to cut Anthony Druid's throat. And she bloop, and so we see the blood start to flow. Does this mean the end of Dr. Druid? We must turn the page to find out. But they don't show us still right away. We see a pack of wolves all fighting. And then we go and cut to Dr. Druid. Drenched in the blood of the mystic, the moon gem shall be unable to cloud my intellect as it did John Jameson, its previous possessor. Because we need to make sure you know about that. I shall absorb the full measure of its godly power with none of its side effects. All we're missing there is an evil laugh. So anyway, you're too late, Captain America. Nothing can stop me from pressing this gem to my throat. Done! And then we see Cap. What is happening to him? Changing before my eyes into what? And that's where this story particularly ends, because the next part of the issue cuts into another story with Diamondback. But we're not going to cover this in here today. So, folks, that is it. That is this next stunning issue of Captain America. And I have to say, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I hope you did too. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notifications bell. Okay? Share this with your friends. Remember, this was issue 406, part 506. The next one will be the final episode of this arc of Flashback from the Stash. Also, if you want to help us out, be sure to go down to that info bar below if you don't mind. And all you have to do is click on that link, and for as little as $1 a month, you can help us support the channel so I can buy more issues, do more stuff like this, do comic book reviews, game reviews. I recently used some of the money to buy a lot more cords and stuff so I can do more game stuff, so it should be quite interesting. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience for taking so long waiting for this video. And until next time, keep it frugal.